So I'm thinking and feeling, well, I was thinking and feeling a grief and a loss of my actual physical femininity that was taken. But on a deeper level, it wasn't ever taken from me. And I think that's where some women who have to deal with these situations get caught up, and then they start to get lost again. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying I just woke up one day and I was over it. It's a process. It's definitely a process. But physically, my sacral chakra area was ill and it was sick. And in order for me to fully embrace my feminine power, I needed to be healed. And spiritually, that's how I'm looking at it. God's got me. Spirit's got me. Higher powers and who I speak to, it's got my back. They knew it needed to happen, and that's why it happened the way it did. And that's why sometimes I have to remind myself that it's very important to stop asking why and trust the process. And a lot of us get caught up in moments, even if it's really horrible things that happen to us. I'm not saying it's okay, and I'm not saying that it's easy to get over. I'm not saying that in any way, shape, or form. But whether it be something that somebody else did that was horrible, or something happened to you in a horrible way, we have to find the silver lining. We have to. Because spiritually, how do you grow, and how do you move forward, and how do you tap into your spiritual growth and your power within yourself if you don't? I think that's a huge question that we all need to kind of remind ourselves of when things are bad. And again, when it comes to, a hysterectomy that was told, like, if you don't get this done, you just got to continue to deal with the pain. My sacral chakra was screaming that it needed to be healed. And the only way to heal it was to take it. But that's physical. Spiritually, now my sacral chakra is cleared and healed and cleansed and can now start new based off of what I practice and what I'm learning with all of this. I can't look at it as a loss. Yes, I can grieve it. I need to. You need to grieve in order to let go, to get to the state of letting go. But ultimately, it comes down to our spirituality, God, faith, gods, goddesses, whatever you believe, whatever you follow. That is a higher being, a higher entity, a higher consciousness. We cannot see that, but we feel it in here, and we believe it. So why is it any different for a situation like this? Just because my physical uterus is not there does not mean spiritually I don't have that connection anymore. It doesn't mean that. And I'm coming to that realization, and I do believe that when women have these scenarios, there is a grief process, and it's not talked about. And it's come to my attention that it's very important to acknowledge it and to grieve through it the way you have to, and trust that it's not gone because it's physically gone. It's not. In my scenario, there was a situation, and it was affecting my entire body, and it was causing me to not be able to go through my life on a day-to-day basis without pain. So somebody up above knew better. and knew that there needed to be a change. And spiritually, I have to believe that. Now, it might not be for everybody, but people who are aware and who are spiritual, I know that this will help ease your mind. Because now that there is no more sickness there, my connection with my femininity has a new beginning. It doesn't need to be physically there for it to be there. Going back to the people pleasing, because, and I believe this, so much of my life I spent putting others above myself, even though a couple of years ago I wanted more kids and nothing ever happened. There were multiple miscarriages, mental exhaustion from all of that. And again, going down that path of why? Why is this happening? I'm a good mother. Do I not deserve to have any more kids? Like, these are the things that we put ourselves in mentally when we lose track of our connection. We get caught up in all the negative. And I truly feel that I spent so much of my life tending to others that a higher power knew it was time for me to tend to myself. And by me bringing another child into this world in that moment in my life, it would have pushed my growth and my self-love and my self-care even further down the road, and my awareness of the lack of what I was putting into myself. So when I say everything happens for a reason, somebody up there knew that it would have steered me off my path of coming to this realization. Do I wish it could have been done in a different way? Yes, but they know better. They know how we are as human beings, and we are impulsive and we make decisions based off of our feelings in the moment and not the outlook of the long haul of the decision. I'm not saying that I wouldn't have wanted more kids. We tried many, many times and it never worked out. But what it really comes to terms with is I was pushing for something that, up there, they knew wasn't right. It's not anything against me. It's just, it was time for me to start my journey, my path on this healing process. And now I have a clean slate. I can now tap into my feminine power and my sacral chakra without the sickness, without the pain, and I can focus on that, and I can work on that, and I can allow it to grow spiritually. It doesn't change the fact that, it does upset me that things didn't go as we planned, but I know and trust and believe that it all happened the way it did, because if it didn't, I wouldn't be here today talking to you about what I'm talking to you about. Spiritually, and my connection with spirit has been the strongest it's ever been the last few years in my entire life. So I only see it growing stronger now. And for anybody out there that's going through the same thing, just know that it isn't a punishment against you. They just know better. And sometimes we don't when we want things. So keep that in mind if you're ever in a scenario like this. Just trust God, trust spirit, trust whoever you believe in, that they know what's right for you. Peace. Love yous.